Welcome back to Stories from the Sea. Glad you found your way back to sit and relax. Tonight, I'd like to take you to part of the day that very few people ever truly experience. The hours before the first light, long before the roads become busy, before the first kettle boils in most houses, and even before the birds begin their morning chorus. There is another world, a quieter world, a slower world. And for many years, that world was my home. For 16 years, I worked as a commercial fisherman. Many of those years were spent living aboard various different scallop boats. When you're living at sea, time feels different. There isn't much of a difference between a Tuesday and a Saturday. The tides don't know what day it is. The weather doesn't care what month of the calendar says. Life is measured by watches, by tides, by the next haul. Some mornings I'd wake up at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, sometimes 3 o'clock. Other nights I'd already be awake, keeping watching the wheelhouse while everyone else sleeps below deck. The wheelhouse had become my little world. Warm, comfy, steady growl of the engine down below beneath your feet. Gentle vibration travelling through the deck. The sound of the propeller shaft turning. Every fishing boat has its own voice, and you learn to recognise it. Not just by the engine, but by the little sounds, the little vibrations. The oilskins flipping back and forth. The rhythm. And after enough years, on the outside, you could almost tell which boat was coming into the harbour before you'd even seen her. But one thing that never changed, the coffee. Coffee had become an unspoken tradition. If I was finishing my watch, I'd make a fresh coffee for the next man coming up. And when it was my turn to climb the steps into the wheelhouse, you could be sure there'd always be one waiting for me. Nobody asked, nobody reminded anyone. It was just an unspoken rule, it's what you did. Sometimes we'd exchange a few words, sometimes hardly none. The man going to bed usually had more to say than the one that was just waking up. Neither of us would have been at our best. It's funny, really. When people think of fishing boats, they imagine the shouting, the engines, the hard work, and they wouldn't be wrong. But they rarely imagine those quiet little acts of kindness that become part of everyday life. A mug of coffee, a warm seat, someone making sure you've got a few dry minutes before your next watch begins. Those things matter, especially in the winter. Summer mornings could be breathtaking. The first hint of colour would appear on the horizon. Orange, gold, deep bronze. Sometimes colours so beautiful they almost didn't seem real. You could stand there, coffee warming your hands up, and watch the whole sea slowly wake up. It never became ordinary, not once. Even after thousands of sunrises. But winter was different. winter tests your patience. You wait and wait and wait for the daylight. Darkness seeming like it's holding on forever. You'd be looking towards the east, wondering if the morning had forgotten you. And then, almost slowly, without noticing, the black sky would soften into grey, and somehow everything felt possible again. Sea speaks long before the weather forecasters. You begin to notice its language, the signs, the colour of the clouds, the feel of the wind against your face, the shape of the swell, the size of the swell. White horses forming on the tops of the waves. The sky that turns grey, blue, or almost black. You don't need anyone to tell you what sort of a day's coming. You already know. Some days you knew it was going to be difficult before you'd even had your breakfast. Those were among the mornings when the warmth of the wheelhouse became especially precious. Because sooner or later, someone would need attention. The rope, the dredge, the wire, and there's no choice. You open the door and the warmth disappears behind you. Cold hits you straight in the face instantly. Spray driven by the wind would slam against it. Sometimes waves breaking clean across the deck. Soaked in seconds. Cold, miserable, trying to work with numb fingers. And yet, strangely, there was something alive about it. The sea never let you forget where you were. Back inside, there was always one thing that felt like luxury. The glove dryer. Warm gloves, dry oilskins, dry boots. Might sound like a small thing, but after days, weeks, even hours in the freezing spray, it was wonderful. The little comforts became the biggest comforts. Perhaps that's one of the lessons the sea teaches you. Happiness doesn't always arrive in the grand moments. Sometimes it's simply finding that your gloves are warm when you put them on. The sea is never empty. Often dolphins would appear, daytime, nighttime, dancing round the bow, dancing round the boat, or weaving beneath and under the dredges. Sometimes you'd catch a sight of them under the deck lights, their smooth shapes moving silently through the dark water. They never seem to be in a hurry. During the day, you might be tuna breaking the surface, exploding out the water, just for a heartbeat, always unexpected. Anticipate and wait for the next one, always miss it, but it's always exciting. And somewhere above, the gulls, always watching, always waiting. You see the sky completely clear, pull the gear, the gulls are there, and they're always part of the story. I sometimes think that people imagine that spending years at sea would become repetitive, but it never did. Nature never repeats herself. Every sunrise is different. Every tide, every cloud, every sea. She always had something new to show you, if you remember to look. And perhaps that's the lesson I'd like to leave you with tonight. Before the first light, before the noise of another busy day, the world offers us a few precious moments of quiet. The sea taught me never to waste them. So tonight, if tomorrow feels a little too heavy, perhaps just rise just a little bit earlier. Make yourself a cup of coffee and just stand quietly by a window. Watch the sky as it begins to change. You don't need a fishing boat to see the morning. You only need to be there before it arrives. Thank you for spending these quiet moments with me. And until next time, fair winds, sleep well, and sweet dreams.